Hello everyone and welcome to my live highlights of the bewildering Winding Woods episode where Ash went into the forest to figure out what was wrong, and there's a blizzard. Everyone tries to find him, so let's go ahead and jump right into this particular reaction. So it looks like we're going to start up with a recap of the Wulfric battle. Oh, Fletchling. Ash looking at Fletchling. Oh, Greninja went away. Yep, Greninja went to look for, and then there's Serena. Interesting. So yeah, so it just started with Greninja going missing, being in a tree, and then Serena went after Ash to look for Ash. No one says the title? No one said the title. Thank you. Thank you, let it for Pikachu sending out Limpo. Oh, thank you. Hello, Team Rocket. Serena. Yeah, Ash isn't having any of it. Serena, you may want to... Ooh. Oh, Serena. Serena just threw a snowball at Ash. Or a whole bunch of snow. Oh. Ash looks like he's fairly back to normal. Oh, there's Snorlax. That's why it was in the data broadcast. And Bidoof. Oh. The Pokemon are training. Nice. Ooh, Serena. Serena's not happy. Nope. Okay, so that's... Alright. Where's Clement going? Yep. Flashback. Greninja. Yep. So this is the Ash Cave part. It's cool that Noivern's the biggest Pokemon on the group. Oh, there's Badoo. Oh, there's Team Rocket. Yeah. There goes Team Rocket. Oh, they were insulated. Ice? This... Or maybe the codes? I'd use, like, Quick Attack or Iron Tail. Something wrong with Pikachu? Might be the weather. Scatterbug? Huh. It's not Snorlax. Wait, where did the other Pokemon go? Okay, did the writers, animators forget about Noivern, Hawlucha, and Talonflame? Really? Oh, that was a nice scene. Bonnie sleeping. Oh, okay, so they didn't see it. What is that? Scatterbug. Or Spupa. So Ash gets to Spupa and then Greninja saves him. Oh, yep, Greninja. There you go. So Greninja becomes awakened form without its veil because it saves a Spupa. That's hilarious. This is awesome. That's really cool, the superimposition of Ash. There we go. Nice. Aw. Such a nice, touching moment. Little teeny Ash. Then it starts raining. Caterpie, Rattata, Weedle, Oddish, and Butterfree. Yep, there you go. The snowstorm's over. Oh, the Speeper are evolving into Vivian. Nice. The same kind, of course. Off into the moon. Did Puny-chan make it back? Oh, there might be a little bit more to the episode, maybe? Ooh. Nice Greninja blocking that bullet seed. Or seed bomb. Whatever. Yeah, Pikachu is back to normal. Yeah, it was the snowstorm, I believe. What? Hold on. Did I just see a Malamar? Oh, okay. It was just Inkay where I was like, did Inkay just suddenly evolve and no one noticed? Oh, it's Luminosity. Oh, Ash better hurry up and get his badge. Huh? What is... Oh. That's adorable. That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. That was awesome. That was a really nice, pleasant episode. Not too heavy on the development though, but at least Ash is feeling better. This was a fantastic episode.
Pokemon! 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 Pokemon!
Hello everyone, I'm Dustin Benzel, and welcome to another Pokemon XY&Z anime discussion. Today is going to be the review of the Winding Woods episode, as well as a little bit of other information in relation to that. You know, the funny thing is, I'm glad I waited to make this video, because if I made this video, I would have likely put in the unconfirmed, obviously fake titles that were revealed on Cerebi, and I would have discussed that, and I would have had a discussion about that. But I'm glad I waited until now, because we actually have real confirmation of the real titles. But of course, most of that is going to be saved for a different video outside of the ones that I talked about in this particular video. So of course, I'm going to talk about the the Winding Woods episode. I'm gonna do my review for that and discuss it or whatever. Afterwards, of course, I'm gonna discuss the next episode, the gym battle rematch. Then we're gonna talk about the Carbink episode. There's a little discussion I want to just talk there, although that might also be saved for a different video as well. But there's just one thing that I want to mention in regards to the Carbink episode, at least in this particular video. And then afterwards, there's the Pancham data broadcast Pokemon, which has its title, and of course we will talk about that when we get to it. So let's of course jump right into the review of this particular episode. Now, I'm not really sure there was anything that I could say that I dislike. There is one criticism that I will talk about, but otherwise, in general, it was a fairly decent episode all the way through. I enjoyed it. I liked all aspects of it and everything. So let's jump right into some of the notes I have. So, of course, in the beginning, in the basic summary, we have everyone worrying about Ash, Serena going to Ash. There's a fight with Serena and Ash. Ash gets over his problems, goes around runs into a snowstorm. Ash, Serena, Bonnie, and Clement go to look for Ash. Ash manages to come back together with Greninja. They save a Pokemon. They talk about certain things. They become attached, or they become bonded even more. Their hearts become closer. And then, of course, afterwards, Ash and Greninja come back to Serena. And of course, we find out the league, and then of course there's like cool ending scene or whatever. So basically, that's the summary. Basically, you saw a lot of my live highlights as well. So let's jump into the main points of this particular episode. So anyway, let's talk about Ash versus Serena, snowball fight of the century. Now, well, by snowball fight, I mean one-sided snowball fight. But anyway, in this particular episode, Ash was sitting on a log or whatever it was, just contemplating or whatever. Serena comes up and is like, Ash, Ash, and stuff. And then Ash was basically apologizing for worrying them, even though that's not entirely confirmed. Ash did apologize to Serena at that particular moment because I think he said Gomensai, Gomenai, or something, one of those Japanese words that I have learned means I'm sorry or I apologize or something to that effect, because most of the time when something bad happens or whatever, the characters usually say that word and it usually means they're sorry, or at least that's what I've understood from translations, and I've picked it up over the many episodes that I've watched of Pokemon, especially when it was had translations with it. So Ash did apologize to Serena for worrying him. I'm assuming he at least apologized in some fashion or whatever. Serena was being a little too pushy and picky in regards to Ash being all alone and being by himself. Then Ash snapped. Serena didn't like being lashed out at, so of course she throws Pokeballs and then she goes over and stuff of that nature. I personally, while I can't exactly to the letter relate to what Ash is going through, I can say that I relate on a very similar basis to what Ash is going through, and I can definitely understand from my perspective why Ash lashed out at Serena. Ash wanted to be left alone, and Serena was bugging. It's kind of the situation, even though it didn't quite apply in this particular instance, but typically, one thing that I've countered in my personal life is that when someone asks me if I'm fine, I'm saying, yeah, I'm fine. But for whatever reason, they don't believe me, and maybe that's true. They had no reason to believe me, but they keep asking and pushing and pushing. And of course, I tend to lash out, and basically it's to the point where I've said I'm fine. I want to be left alone. I don't care. Leave me alone. Stop asking the questions that you're asking. And then they just don't seem to get that, and then I lash out. So I can understand why Ash lashed out. It made perfect sense. Whether you want to say it was justified or not, it made sense for Ash to lash out because Serena was butting in and not letting Ash deal with whatever problems he had on his own. That being said, I'm not saying that Serena was unjustified in throwing the snowballs at Ash. In fact, I truly believe that they're both justified in their own way. Ash was justified in wanting to be left alone and lashing out because that's typically a natural reaction for what Ash was feeling at that particular time. And Serena just wasn't getting it, wasn't understanding the issue or whatever, and Ash just wanted to be left alone. So it made sense, and it was slightly justified for Ash to lash out because Serena just wasn't getting that Ash wanted to be left alone and that Serena couldn't help him. That being said, it was also justified for Serena to react the way she did. After all, when you lash out at someone in this particular method, it is a double edged reaction, basically, because you kind of leave yourself open to something unexpected, like someone like trying to care about you or whatever, and you're telling them basically in so many words that you specifically can't help me, leave me alone or whatever. And then it gets to point you yelling at them basically, as justified as that would be, you also kind of have to realize that humans in particular don't react very well to being yelled at, even if it would seem justified or whatever. So basically, that's kind of the thing. Serena was hurt by what Ash was saying, and she didn't like it, and it was justified. It makes sense. So that's what I'm going to say about it. But personally, I would have preferred if Serena got the fact that Ash wanted to be left alone. But luckily, everything turned out for the best or whatever, and you know, so that was all that. That's all I want to say about that particular aspect. So anyway, let's move on here. Interesting thing that we have about is the Greninja. I will talk about Greninja later on in this particular episode, but it is interesting that Greninja left and was focusing on everything that it was going through and focusing on what Ash was doing and was trying to look for Ash, especially in the snowstorm. And what I definitely like is Puny-chan being in this particular episode, and Puny-chan taking a more active role within this particular episode was really nice too. When it first located a cave for Bonnie, Serena, and Clement while the snowstorm was happening so they can get out of it because it was picking up really badly. It was Puny-chan that found the cave. Then later on, Puny-chan became Zygarde 10% to either look for Ash, but ran into Greninja first, found out where Ash was, and directed Greninja to Ash's location. So that was also a very nice feature and really nice. And it was also interesting, to hear Zygarde 10% like barking or, well, not really barking, but making like dog like noises, like, I don't know if you want to qualify that as barking or whatever, but that's basically what it was. So then, of course, then later on after the conclusion, we get Puny-chan communicating with Blue Zygarde Core, and there was something mentioned about Ash and Greninja, and I'm assuming that either Puny-chan was saying that trainers are fine, they're good with their Pokemon, or saying specifically that Ash and Greninja are very powerful trainers to look forward to and would be able to help in regards to the crisis of whatever's going on. Those are my guesses. I don't know. Translations seem to be very difficult these days. I mean, I think these days you somehow have to specifically ask for translations of episodes, but it's really hard to have to wait for other translations of other aspects in regards to the episodes. So yeah, it would be really nice if someone had like translations of an episode down relatively soon after the episode and then disseminate that to everyone so people can look at it and properly conclude what was going on in the episode as opposed to waiting for other types of translations. So yeah, there's that. So here's an interesting thing, and this is where I want to talk about the main criticism of this particular episode. This in of itself wasn't a criticism of the episode because this was a really nice particular moment, but basically what followed afterwards is what I have a criticism of this particular episode. And of course, what we have here is Noivern and Hawlucha like protecting Bonnie from like the wind and stuff, and that was a really nice moment. And going back to earlier in the episode, and you'll have seen this in my live highlights, I was very happy that it was Pikachu that sent out Ash's Pokemon because there was a little concern as to how Talonflame, Hawlucha, and Noivern would show up in the episode, and I felt at the time that it would be very cringy and cringeworthy or whatever if indeed Clement or Serena sent out Ash's Pokemon for whatever reason. It was a really nice touch that Pikachu specifically sent out Ash's Pokemon because it would have made sense. Because I even said that in the forums in regards to this episode. I mean, if it was Pikachu, that's fine. Pikachu is part of Ash's team or whatever, and it would make sense. My issue is then fast forward to after Hawlucha and Noivern protect Bonnie, we don't see those Pokemon ever again. We never did get a proper resolution. If Pikachu told everyone else in regards to Ash being missing or whatever, and everyone's like battling and trying to get stronger for the gym battle or whatever. It would have been nice if Ash's Pokemon were to be with Ash at the end, along with Greninja and Pikachu. I didn't quite like that at the end of this particular episode it was just about Pikachu and Greninja. I feel like that kind of feels like the other Pokemon that Ash has are lesser Pokemon, and I didn't quite like that. But that's really the only criticism that I have of this particular episode. So before I move on with other things, let me go ahead and talk about Team Rocket in this particular episode. Team Rocket, I felt, were fine in this particular episode because at least they were in this episode rather than any other episode. Like, if they showed up in the next episode and the VA list confirms that they're not going to be in the rematch, but I would be very upset if, of course, the writers chose to put Team Rocket in the rematch of the gym battle. So I was perfectly fine with this one, especially since what we got wasn't too bad in regards to Team Rocket, because we did get some cool features in regards to this. Okay, so the first scene with Team Rocket indicating that they were in the episode wasn't exactly too necessary, but at least it is established that they were in the episode. Then the next time we see Team Rocket, they were trying to capture Pikachu. Now I'm perfectly fine with this episode, this particular scene in the episode in regards to Team Rocket, because it wasn't too bad. Because Pikachu was trying to blast off Team Rocket, but there was something going on with Pikachu's electrical attacks, and therefore it wasn't doing as much. So then, of course, Team Rocket just left in a hilarious moment, like, well, we don't want that, Pikachu. Oh well. So, in my live highlights, if I kept it, I don't know if I said anything. I did say something about how maybe it was the weather affecting Pikachu's electricity because it was a snowstorm going on, and ice, I believe, resists electricity. Not in terms of typing, but I'm just saying that ice isn't a very conductive material, and as opposed to like water and steel and metal and stuff of that nature. So I think what it is ice is an insulator, if I'm not mistaken, for electricity or something of that nature. At least that's what I've been told everywhere, is that ice is kind of more of an insulator for electricity in general. So I felt like because of the snowstorm, maybe that's why Pikachu wasn't exactly doing its best. But after having seen the episode and looking in the forums and hearing other people's suggestions, I think it's also possible that Pikachu did not was not able to blast off Team Rocket because Pikachu was worried about Ash. And then when everything was revolved with Ash, Ash was happy, Pikachu was happy, Pikachu was up to snuff and could blast off Team Rocket. The important thing to note is, though, it was a snowstorm when Pikachu first tried to beat Team Rocket, and then later in the episode, there wasn't a snowstorm. So, of course, there's that. So, then the final scene, and the reason why I'm primarily fine with this is because we kind of got a really cool Greninja scene on top of a fairly humorous Team Rocket scene and a little bit of decent Pikachu focus. So, that's why I was fine with it. So, what started out was like Bullet Seed, or was it Seed Bomb, Bullet Seed or Seed Bomb going after it, and then we get this really cool Greninja seeing this and using Cut to stop the Bullet Seed from attacking, which was a really nice feature. It really exemplified Greninja's quickness and speed. And so then, of course, we got Pikachu wanting to battle Team Rocket because it couldn't do it before. It couldn't blast off Team Rocket before, so now Pikachu wanted to be redeemed. And I thought this was really nice because, in regards to the episode's narrative of what was going on, it was really nice to get a little bit of Pikachu focus, so it wasn't just about Ash and Greninja. So, yeah, there was that. And then, of course, Team Rocket blasting off and being happy in regards to that. So, I wouldn't say Team Rocket was unbearable, but I can definitely see why they weren't exactly not needed or not necessary, or that it would be preferred if they just never showed up again. But at least in the context in regards to this episode, I would definitely have preferred something like this outside of the typical things that they usually do, or they showing up in an episode where they don't belong, like a gym battle or a Pokemon League episode battle. But of course, I highly doubt, however many episodes the Pokemon League will be, I highly doubt Team Rocket won't show up. At the very least, if they're going to show up in the league, very minor scenes of them being vendors again. Okay, at the very least, be that. Be what happened when they were in the Sinnoh League. Now, I don't know if Team Rocket were in the Unova League. I really can't say for certain if they were in the Unova League, because sometimes I try to forget that league, but if they were similar as the Sinnoh League, as being vendors, maybe having their own little discussion in regards to the battles, that would be fine. Just nothing as heavy extensive as the Sinnoh League, please, because in the Sinnoh League, they did get a lot of airing and focus because of the story that they had for Team Rocket in the league. And while I'm sure people who like Team Rocket were fine with that kind of storyline, it did cost Ash's battle with Nando, and I would have liked to see Quilava battling against Nando's Armaldo just a little bit more. So I'm not a little exactly too happy. And with everything going on in regards to the league that has been revealed, that I will talk about in another video, I would prefer something like that. But like I said, Team Rocket were fine in this particular aspect in regards to the episode, because better than something else. So then, of course, one other thing that we learn is, if I'm not mistaken, no one has contradicted anyone in the forums, but it seems like the Kalos League will be in Lumio City, which is definitely great, because it's really nice that the Pokemon League is finally being in the central hub of the region, as opposed to its anime only location in regards to the Elite Four and Champion. It's really nice that the anime only Pokemon League, not the Elite Four and Champion League or whatever, would be in the central hub. So yeah, we did have the Grand Festival in Heart Home City in Sinnoh, if I'm not mistaken. So it's really nice that the Pokemon League itself is in the big central hub, the biggest city of a region. Of course, that's Lumio City with the Prism Tower and everything. So it's really nice that we're getting Lumio City as the Pokemon League. That being said, as well as indicating other things, this could also be why a certain Pokemon may end up being in the league. But of course, I will save that for the league video in a different video. So then, of course, we get into one of the final scenes, not the last scene of the art drawing of the to be continued that we usually get in every episode at the end. No, what we got here is we got a very nice scene, and it was a callback. Oh, by the way, I neglected to mention that I really liked all the flashbacks in this particular episode. We got Ash learning more about, or realizing who he is based on everything that happened, for his love of Pokemon, and that's why, assuming that the other people are accurate in the forums, it was Ash's love of Pokemon, that he wanted to be a trainer, wanted to be a Pokemon master or whatever, and he just needed to realize that and really focus on that particular aspect in order to be the very best, and that's probably why Ash-Greninja was mastered. Oh, that reminds me of another small criticism. I don't really mind it, and I really did enjoy the scene of Greninja saving Spupa, but I'm not really sure I quite liked having the form mastered just for Ash-Greninja to save Spupa. I mean, I feel like it would have been better if there was more battle aspects, but I get the point in that just like Mega Evolution, that there doesn't necessarily need to be a battle reason to be using that particular Ash-Greninja form, just like Mega Evolutions. Like how Mega Blaziken just appeared randomly at the Lumio City airport, as well as the Prism Tower to save Ash from falling to his death. So there was that aspect. So I guess it was a nice
Ash-Greninja could appear without actually battling, and just as a testament of their bond, so it was okay, but or whatever. So yeah, like I said, the Ash-Greninja stuff was amazing, and I felt like the very end of this episode was a really nice touch. As Ash was like getting ready to do the rematch with Wulfric, or preparing for the rematch, or so he can enter the league, what we got was a really nice moment of Greninja holding up a Pokeball as a callback to the very first second, or the second episode of the XY series, of when Froakie threw Frubbles at Ash to get his attention, and there was a Pokeball, and then Froakie nudged the Pokeball towards Ash, and then Ash got it, and then Froakie basically smacked it and caught itself, and that was how Froakie joined Ash's team. What was really nice in this particular episode, and it is why this was an amazing episode overall, was because Greninja rolled Ash the peak, or gave Ash the Pokeball. Ash put up the Pokeball, and then of course Greninja like fisted the Pokeball, and it was a very nice symbolic moment for the relationship between Greninja and Ash in reference to everything that was going on. So that was a really nice touch. So then, of course, there's one interesting moment, and I'm pretty sure. No, okay, I'm gonna show you this particular scene, and it's kind of an after scene, and it's very funny. I'm keeping this scene for now, so you'll definitely be seeing this now. And of course, here is that particular scene.
Oh, are we gonna see? uh, Bonnie Dedenne is hilarious. That's awesome. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you that, but I'll definitely leave this in my live highlights. Come on.
So as you've seen in the side scenes of the episode, where we get like Pokemon Unbelievable or whatever, where they talk about a certain Pokemon in replacement to Professor Oak talking about a particular Pokemon or whatever, is like Pokemon TV or something like that, and the ending afterwards, little extra segments that Pokemon have or whatever. They were talking about Greninja or whatever, and how Ash-Greninja or whatever was, and what was really nice in this particular moment, we got, of course, Bonnie Dedenne. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you an image of it. I'm unfortunately probably not going to be able to get an image of that, but I don't think there's anywhere that I can immediately go to get an image of Bonnie Dedenne. I looked up Google Images, but of course that's not anywhere, and there were like horrible low quality images of it. So unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see Bonnie Dedenne, but if you have seen the full episode, then you probably would have seen Bonnie Dedenne, and that was a very hilarious moment. It was very nice to see Dedenne as Bonnie, and then of course we saw Clement's reaction of being horrified, be like, no, that would be the worst thing ever to have a Bonnie Dedenne. So that was a hilarious side story, and I am upset that I didn't add this in regards to the Sceptile episode in the live highlights or whatever. I did semi react to Sceptile dancing or whatever, but I'm pretty sure I didn't include that in the live highlights, if there were live highlights in that particular episode, because I think I took out the live highlights maybe and just did a huge analysis. I'm not sure, but there was the whole Sceptile dancing, and it was pretty funny. I was like, what? But then it was interesting that we got like Bonnie Dedenne in this particular episode. So that's pretty much that particular review. Hope you enjoyed that particular review. So let's go ahead and talk about everything else. So what we have here is the gym battle rematch. Mega Bombasnow versus Ash-Greninja, and of course the trigger water shuriken triggers or whatever. So what can I say about this particular episode other than I am definitely looking forward to it? This is the proper gym battle, and I can see why there wasn't a versus screen in the previous battle, because this is definitely the actual gym battle. Not that I had anything problem. Not that I had any problem with Sept or Halucha beating Abomasnow and stuff or whatever, but based on what we see in the preview, this is definitely something we can look forward to in this particular gym battle. I don't know if the gym battle is going to be more amazing than Olympia, which is so far, I believe, my favorite gym battle so far, with the way that everything was handled, even though it was a double battle. But I definitely think that because we're dealing with a Mega Abomasnow and Ash-Greninja, I feel like this is going to be one of the best gym battles that we've ever gotten. I am disappointed that we're only getting a 3-on-3. I really wish we would have gotten like a 4-on-4 or a 5-on-5 or whatever, but I guess we'll just have to deal with the final battle being a 3-on-3. So I feel like, yes, of all the gym battles, I feel like this could potentially be the best one. It's definitely, I do think this is going to be the best animated gym battle. As for whether the battle will turn out good or not, will determine what we see later on. So what we see in the preview.
Alright, so let's see this particular episode and see what it's going for. Alright, we're going to get something surprising. Pikachu! Talonflame against Avalugg. Bergmite? Ooh. Mega Abomasnow Greninja. Nice. Okay, so Pikachu is going to be used against without Hawlucha. So it looks like it's going to be let's see, Pikachu, Talonflame, and Greninja, which is all fine and perfect because Hawlucha already got a battle or whatever. So Wulfric's third Pokemon happens to be a Bergmite instead of Cryogonal. Wow, they sure love changing up the team changes and stuff. So yeah, I guess that's something to look forward to.
I don't have the preview up. I didn't really take notes because I really have all these videos to make or whatever. But one thing that I want to say in the preview that I remember, of course, Wulfric's third Pokemon is Bergmite. I have no problem with that. I mean, if I can understand if he had Cryogonal and he just showed up with Bergmite, that might be a problem, but at the very least he has a third Pokemon. And it's really nice that we can see Bergmite battling, of course. And of course, there's the whole Avalugg versus Talonflame, and then Ash-Greninja versus Mega Abomasnow. Also, Hawlucha was traded out for Pikachu, which was really nice. Now, a lot of people are calling foul on this, but I'd rather Pikachu get a battle here than Pikachu being shoved down our throats, or my throat in general, later on, because they tend to do that when Pikachu doesn't get a lot of focus. They give it unneeded, unnecessary focus to make up for it or whatever. I've seen, I don't know if they've changed their minds on that, but at least Pikachu is getting focus and getting a lot of battles because it makes a lot of sense that Pikachu would be used. And of course, Hawlucha not being in the battle means, hey, great. That means that its win against Abomasnow does not have to be underscored by its loss in this particular episode. So basically, I think the matchups are going to be like straight up for the most part. I think it's going to be Pikachu beating against a Bergmite. I think Pikachu will battle against Avalugg, do very well with its special attacks, and do very well, but ultimately being knocked out. Then, of course, I feel like it's going to be Talonflame versus Avalugg. And what I really like, since Talonflame is clearly not going to ever be the true solo star of a gym, at the very least, Talonflame taking out Avalugg would be amazing. It could lose to Abomasnow, or maybe it could end up in a tie and then have Greninja being sent out against Abomasnow, and of course we get Mega Abomasnow versus Ash-Greninja, with Ash, of course, beating Abomasnow. So I would like every one of the Pokemon to get a win. Now, of course, one thing that I should note is, of course, not only did we get an epic Ash-Greninja animation scene of Greninja becoming Ash-Greninja, but one thing I want to know is Hawlucha and Noivern are listed to be in this particular episode, so I'm assuming that after the gym battle, we're going to get a small scene of Ash talking with all his Pokemon and saying that, hey, we've done it, we can get to the league, let's go to the league, let's do this, or whatever. And then, of course, they'll like cheer and say hello or whatever, and then maybe we'll get some other moments. So while I'm disappointed that they're not in the gym battle, at least they're in the episode. So every Pokemon that Ash has currently on hand is going to be in this particular episode. So then, of course, while that was the preview and you saw some images, of course, there is Pokemon Fan. And of course, in Pokemon Fan, we have this particular image here that I don't have at the moment because I'm not prepared for whatever reason. So what I want to talk about moment right now here is I'm actually very surprised that Pokemon Fan has come out, because Pokemon Fan did just come out last month, and that's how we knew about Wulfric and stuff. At least I'm almost positive that Pokemon Fan came out last month. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and it was actually March that it came out, but I'm pretty sure it came out in April. But in case I'm wrong, we get Pokemon Fan here, and the reason why I thought we were wrong, or the reason why I'm a little confused, is why is Pokemon Fan being leaked now on the 28th? I mean, that's a very late date. I mean, there's only a couple of days left of May before we get into June. So what we have here is we have, of course, Pokemon Fan in regards to the gym battle. Of course, there are other Pokemon Fan scans, but as I've said, I'm only going to talk about this one and the Pancham episode. So, of course, that means that the other Pokemon Fan scans will be for the other video. So, of course, what we have here is we have the one for the Winding Woods. We have Ash, and we see that scene that I was talking about of Ash fist bumping the Pokeball, Ash talking with Greninja, and Ash-Greninja being happy or whatever. And then below that, we get the gym battle of Ash-Greninja, which is a really nice scene, an epic scene. Then at the top left of this photo, we see Mega Abomasnow with a little image of Mega Abomasnow with, of course, Ash-Greninja. And then we see this huge, nice photo of Abomasnow with Wulfric. And then, of course, below that, we see Pikachu battling, we see Talonflame, and, of course, we see Greninja using some bladed water shuriken attack, it looks like. And then, of course, we see double teamed Ash-Greninja without its veil, which is really cool. I mean, it was pretty cool to have Ash-Greninja veiled using double team versus Diantha. That was one of the most epic things ever, but having all these Ash-Greninjas would be really cool, too. I think the reason why it was cooler with water veiled Ash-Greninja is because the veil made it look like it was a Pokemon attack. So, like, if it was like Aqua Jet, hypothetically, even though it can't learn Aqua Jet, but if it was like Aqua Jet, it was like it used Aqua Jet as well as Double Team. So that was like really cool to see happening. So, but yeah, all these Ash-Greninjas are really cool. So the Pokemon Fan basically says, open it up, the path of the Kalos League. It's finally perfected, Ash-Greninja. When Ash-Greninja's emotions become one during battle, Greninja's form changes, making it power up. They finally become able to use this ability as they want. So that means that Ash can use Ash-Greninja whenever they feel like it, kind of like Mega Evolution, just Greninja, Synchro, Evolve, and stuff or whatever. I'm interested if whether or not if it'll just be let's get stronger, if that's going to be the catchphrase to activate Ash-Greninja, or if Ash-Greninja, or yeah, Ash-Greninja is going to come up with Ash is going to come up with his own catchphrase to activate Ash-Greninja, like how all trainers in the anime say their Pokemon's name and say Mega Shinka or Mega Evolve. You know, I wonder if Ash is going to say, Greninja, become Ash-Greninja or something, or it's going to be the same, let's get stronger, let's go in regards to activating Ash-Greninja. It'll be interesting to see, and we should maybe see it in this particular episode. So, their hearts become one. While attempting to save the Speepa from trouble, the two hearts become one. This was the perfection of Ash-Greninja. The Kalos League, which has always been Ash's goal, now finally lies before his eyes. He breaks into a dash towards it together with his friends. Ash has become Greninja. When the two of them synchronize, their movements become completely identical, truly one in body and soul. A hard wall of ice. Wulfric's Abominable Snow Mega evolves. Will Ash and his Pokemon be knocked back once again? Challenging the Snow Battle Gym once again. During his first attempt at the gym, Ash was unable to battle the way he wanted, which I guess would explain that, yeah, Ash was technically holding back in the first battle and wasn't battling properly because he couldn't battle the way that he wanted because of whatever was going on. Having now perfectly prepared himself, he once again challenges the gym. Believing in his partner's strength, he goes into battle. Get a hold of the 8th badge. This is the battle that will determine whether or not Ash gets to challenge the Kalos League. If he doesn't win here, he can't continue on, which I think is kind of bull. They were kind of ridiculous in the sense because Ash could just re-challenge Wulfric, but they tend to do this, I guess. Oh no, could Ash lose and never be able to battle the Kalos League? But obviously, based on other scans that I'm not going to talk about in this particular video, yes, it is confirmed that Ash is going to be getting his badge. But then again, I guess it's possible that Ash will just get this random freebie badge just to make up for it, but whatever, at least it is confirmed. So that's all I want to talk about this particular episode. I've already done my speculation. I think it's going to be a win for every Pokemon. I think the animation is going to look nice and fantastic or whatever. So I don't think there's really anything else that I can say about this particular episode. So let's, of course, move on to the next one, which, of course, is the Carbink. Unfortunately, we did not get a Pokemon fan of Carbink, which is very disappointing because it would have been nice to see Gudra and stuff or whatever, but hey, it's whatever it is, right? So what I wanted to say in regards to this particular episode, if Carbink is based on scans of other videos or whatever, and I just want to touch up, I still think there is a very small but potential possibility that Ash could capture Carbink. Now, it's not exactly guaranteed, and I'm pretty sure it's when you see my league, my Pokemon fan video in regards to the Pokemon League, you will definitely get more in-depth thoughts in regards to this or whatever. But I feel like it's still possible that Carbink could be caught based on the summary. But like I'm going to say in the league video, I'm pretty sure that I'm overthinking everything in regards to what we know, and that the Pokemon that will show up in the league will just end up being Gudra. But what I'm saying is, don't be surprised if Ash captures Carbink. Just saying. It's not confirmed. It's probably not likely at all remotely, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think it's going to be caught. I don't think Carbink is going to be caught, but I'm not going to be surprised if it does get caught. So basically, just a recap of the episode, it's going to be a rampaging Carbink versus Gudra, and Dedenne is going to be there, and we're going to get a really nice Gudra episode before we get into the Pancham episode. So that'll be that. So then anyway, we're going to talk about the Pancham episode that has a title. Now, this is where I talked about earlier that we got fake titles. This was originally apparently going to be a Pancham leaves fake out episode with Serena. But as it turns out, that was a fake title, so we don't have to worry about that. Instead, what we have here is we have Heartburst at the Ingenuity Festival. That's complicated or whatever. And we have this particular image that showed up in Pokemon Fan. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this, and I don't know why, this is in Pokemon Fan at least. I know why I'm mentioning it, because it's a new episode with a new title. But what we have here is a little blurb in this particular image is Pikachu and the others end up getting separated from Ash and his friends inside a trick house. And then the ingenious trick devices inside the house puts them in tons of trouble. Now, I don't know why I didn't add it, but I don't know why I missed the little blurb or whatever, but I'm confused as to why this episode got focused over the Gudra episode. But then again, what we have here is we look at it here. Take note of this episode as well. It's like, oh yeah, there's this particular episode as well. I don't know why it wasn't the Gudra episode and the Carbink episode, but I wonder if there's going to be something important that's going to happen in this particular episode that they didn't want to focus on, but they wanted to show in or whatever. So maybe we can get a capture episode, maybe. So maybe it's not just Carbink as a potential capture for Ash. Maybe Serena will capture another Pokemon. Maybe Clemont will capture another Pokemon. I don't know. Given that this is a weird episode that seems to be getting focus, and the Pokemon fan said to take note, I'm not sure what's going on. Will we get new moves for Ash's Pokemon? You know, I don't know. Maybe it's Team Flare, Team Rocket. I don't know. But basically, this right now, it's a little interesting that we're getting this in Pokemon Fan over the Gudra Carbink episode. So let's, of course, I guess that's all I have to pretty much say. After that, of course, there are other episodes and titles that are confirmed, but I'm saving that for another video. So I guess that's pretty much it. I don't want this video too long because I don't know how long the live highlights are going to be. So anyway, oh, by the way, Pokemon Sun and Moon speculation video, as well as Pokemon Fan League video, is coming up. Thank you for watching. I'm Dustin Benzel, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.